During the week, Rollo spoke with Father Kevin Dillon.
Continue our coverage of the launching of the law year for 2009. And joining us is a man who had the words of reflection, as he always does. Very wise words, Father Kevin Dillon from St Mary's of the Angels Basilica up on the hill. Good morning, Father. How are you?
Morning, Graham. Good to be here again.
The words of reflection. You chose your theme this morning, which was a very terrific one, on a personal basis. Is something that a lot of us, I didn't know. Your father was a magistrate.
Yeah, Dad was, amongst other things, a magistrate. He was also actually Victoria's first ombudsman. So he's had a fair bit of legal background, but the message I suppose I spoke to the people today who varied from magistrates to lawyers to clerks and various other people in the legal system was just the importance of asking God's help. I mean, the people here are people for whom prayer is important in their personal lives. To say, well, take that into your life, because in your work, because you never know what sort of choices you have to make as a person of integrity within the context of your framework of your legal work as well.
It is, and in talking to Anne Collis earlier, she was saying as chaplain up at the law courts, it is a very stressful activity there.
Oh, it most certainly is, and I mean occasionally we hear of all sorts of incidents. We have people are in court either because of disputes among themselves or because of alleged offences and so on. So all of that is fairly highly stressful activity in itself, and of course within the context of whether there's fines or custodial sentences or so on, obviously people are on edge. And I imagine if that's not just the case for people who are maybe undergoing some sort of legal battle, but also for the people representing them, it's a pretty stressful sort of an area altogether.
And I'd probably take the view from a media viewpoint, particularly the amount of coverage through media. And I'll say this in a negative way, that unfortunately a lot of the court system is maybe not fair.
Well, I suppose the task of the courts is to implement the law, and the law can be fairly unforgiving and unrecognising of individual circumstances. And perhaps certainly an observation was made to me just a few minutes ago, after what I was saying, that for magistrates and people in the judicial system, that the degree of flexibility that they have in order to exercise personal judgment, maybe mixed with a sense of compassion and fair go and those sort of things, is maybe not as great as it used to be. So that can be difficult as we live in a more legalistic, bureaucratic society.
And within that legalistic system, we're starting, as we mentioned to Kevin Roach, we're starting to see a very strong alignment of individual specialities rather than the general practice element.
That's probably correct. We've seen that possibly in medicine as well, of course, as an obvious area. And maybe just in a lot of areas of just even commerce as well. You take something into a store and you say, oh no, well, you've got to see this person or you've got to see that person. The idea of I can remember going into a business recently and I had to wait half an hour and I talked to 4 different people before I eventually got what I needed. So, and it was said to me that staff who are well trained in the general activities are getting fewer and fewer. So we are specialising, but probably to our detriment.
Thank you for your fine words of reflection this morning, but I can't let you go because viewers, coming up soon, we're going to be doing a story on a place called a Wing and a Prayer.
Yes, Wing and a Prayer is a shop that has been started by the Catholic churches in the Geelong region. It's just opposite Office Works, next to the Bike Superstore in Mallop Street, and it's an avenue of bringing information on the church, not just the Catholic Church, but a lot of good community organisations as well, into the public forefront. We have Mass celebrated there every day. There's a little chapel down there, but most of all it's a gathering place for people to meet and to make a sense of connection with the church. There's a bookshop which has got an increasingly broad range of worthwhile books, mainly from a Catholic but not exclusively Catholic perspective. But as well as that, there's a lot of gifts. One of the real things which made a big difference, a lot of gifts that people can purchase, which have been made in third world countries, brought here, where they get nothing for them if they sold them there, brought out here, beautifully handcrafted gifts of all descriptions. So it's a way in which we can help countries where people are far worse off than we are, and still get a good bargain and still have a great array of gifts, and not the sort of thing that are mass manufactured here.
That's for further programs coming to you from our great city of Geelong. Again, a man of reflection and a man that we honour greatly here each week on Channel 31 on our Geelong Good Morning Geelong program and News Geelong. Father Kevin Dillon, thank you for your time. God bless and have a great week.
Thanks, Brian. God bless you and all our viewers.
Thanks for that interview, Rollo. Well, joining me in the studio, it is fantastic to have Rollo with me, who is covering sport once again for Tom King. He'll be back next week, but here is Rollo with the latest in sport.
Thanks very much, Megan, as we look at sport in the world of Geelong. And congratulations to the Bowen Rockets. They are the Victorian Under-18 cricket champions for 2009 after a magnificent victory up the St Kilda Cricket Ground last weekend. Coached by Brian Thomas and also managed by Scruffy Rob Oborn from Colac and Brian Coughlin joining in the senior team. The Bowen Rockets under-18, they combined as a side, led very well. Luke Mitchell made a fine 59 as the Bowen Rockets scored 9 for 256. In reply, the South East Sharks, they were never in the hunt as they were dismissed for 142 in the 45th over. So, under-18 Victorian champions, the Bowen Rockets, and look out for some of the players that will continue to evolve from that team in the future. Looking at Premier Cricket, the Geelong Cricket Club, they've got a big opportunity tomorrow at the Shrams Reserve at Fitzroy Doncaster to confirm second place in the ladder. They scored 9 for 309 last week after being 5 for 132. Tom Elliott made a magnificent 124 not out. They included 13 fours and 3 sixes. Fitzroy Doncaster resume at no wicket for 31. The bottom line is Geelong need all 10 wickets to take out the game and confirm second place on Premier Cricket's #1 ladder. Geelong Football Club, congratulations. It was a terrific effort this week to see the Geelong football players move out to local clubs at senior level, not junior level, senior level, as part of their continuing commitment to community football camps. Visiting local clubs, joining in the training up at Newtown and Chewell, for instance, Tom Harley and Tom Allwright, the young man coming across from Hobart, put on a terrific display. And also in the world of football, interesting to see, former Ocean Grove and St Joseph's coach, and also Western Jets after St Joseph's, their football coach Mark Neild, a very familiar name down here in Geelong, now is at Collingwood as they're replacing Gavin Brown as their defensive coach as they head into the NAB AFL pre-season competition. Not too shortly, but let's hope that it will be the Cats. That's it for the world of sport this week. As Megan said, Kingy will be back next Friday morning on Good Morning Geelong.